Hey, it's me. Ooh, told me, the guys with the 5 eyes that you see. And this is my third take. So here we go. So I'm going to be talking about Jada Pinkett and Lena the Plug and how they essentially are embarrassments to their families, and how if women follow after their lead, well, America's already in disarray. America's Babylon. They're done for. But these women just basically show how if you want to crumble a nation, attack the mothers, attack the wives. So with Jada Pinkett, Jaden recently has come out and said that his mother was the one that introduced psychedelics to the family.
You okay? Whoa, everything's so significant.
Basically, him and his siblings use it to get over their arguments with each other, and I'd have to assume that also means arguments with the family. And I don't think they're the right kind of people that should be doing shrooms. I mean, you look at Jaden, that he's wearing dresses. Tyler, the Creator, low-key was really his boyfriend for a time.
I tell you guys something. I want to tell you, Tyler doesn't want to say, but Tyler's my motherfucking boyfriend, and he's been my motherfucking boyfriend my whole fucking life. Tyler, the Creator, is my fucking boyfriend.
Nigga, you gay. Nah, I mean, she...
I know they were joking, but it's probably weird. That meant they were definitely doing a do. Willow kind of just follows up under her mother, the way she cut her hair off with her. Did she really have alopecia that bad that she had to shave? I don't think anyone's really investigated that much. But again, Will, he ruined his Grammy night slapping Chris, I'm gonna call him Curtis Rock in the face. Ruined his night, and he really just kind of ruined his whole reputation amongst many men when he did that red table talk with his wife, and he looked like he looked like a Koopa that just got stepped on by Mario one too many times, because he was looking sad, man.
Decided we were going to take our space, and what happened? An entanglement?
Yes. We found, and from there,
Yeah.
and we decided.
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah,
we decided that we were going to figure out how to make yourself happy.
And Jada is not the right kind of woman to be introducing psychedelics to her family. They're dysfunctional. They don't have it all together. We know that just by their actions and how they present themselves. And trust me, shrooms are fun. Shrooms are great. I've tried them quite a couple times. They make you feel like a child. The way shrooms kind of make us feel the way we low-key should be feeling out in a natural sense, but we can't feel that way. We've been adulterated, as my guide would like to say. We've been adulterated, and now we focus so much on working and collecting resources and taking them from each other that we don't really have the time or need feeling to be like the kids we once were, to love life, to accept nature, and to understand and overstand each other. Shrooms are great for those purposes, and that's why people use them when they're going through depression and when they're going through manic episodes and everything. It's great medicine, but it can't be good medicine when your family is just all over the place. And Jada is not a good wife. We got to get that straight. Like, if she was a good wife, she wouldn't do anything to August Alsina, because that was also her son's friend. That did not need to happen.
The baddest bitch you'll ever know. The baddest bitch you'll ever know. Thrust hard.
She wouldn't use it for clout on her show that nobody cared about still. She should have stopped Will, all her power, from doing what he did, because a good wife would think about the optics of how that looks to her family, but she didn't care. She just wanted clout. Chris Rock did get her with that G.I. Jane comment. I don't know. From this Vanity Fair article, she looks more like she got to worry about the Goblin Slayer to me. She looks like a freaking vampire these days. I mean, she got that whole cauldron on her head. Look at her fingers in this picture. They're looking leatherier than her leather. I can't tell if that's a purse or a suitcase. That thing is really, really big for no reason. It's really weird to me. But, you know, I know Jaden has some... I know what he means when he says, you know, we get in these arguments and then we take this stuff and it helps us kind of calm down, understand each other, and smooth things out. But, bro, shrooms are just going to make you just kick that shit down the road, bro. Listen, take it from me. You in an argument with your whatever, your folks, y'all take shrooms. Maybe you start going through the tripping period of and then you're like, I love you, and I need to be with you. You're my best friend, blah, blah, blah. And then what ends up happening is you low-key forget what you guys were really, like, arguing and talking about. And then you're like, hey, you want to go walk on the water? And you'll be like, bro, we're in the middle of Arizona. And you'll be like, I know, we're bringing the water to us. They'll be like, cactus surfing? Cactus surfing. That's what happens when you take shrooms, bro. Like, it's medicinal in a sense, but I feel like it helps more with self-trauma and the self versus trying to get through something as a group. But you can't really accomplish that when your parents are so dysfunctional. Any kind of gains you make are going to get set aside when they're literally telling the whole world they cheat on each other. Especially with Will. I think Will might be the least... He might be, his emotions, his mental state might be the most at risk. Because I do remember reading an article from his book where he talked about he was just having so much sex and being such a deviant. He was like throwing up at times. And I'm just like, how are you gagging when you're the one that's making the other person gag? I don't know what's going on there, but he's not there in the head. That alone should be a reason Jada should not be giving her shrooms. And whatever she's going through is definitely coming out. It's pouring out of her. I'm pretty sure that ever since she started doing shrooms, Tupac's ghost has not been on her sight since. I don't like to call someone a bad mother because I don't know her personally, but I definitely know she could definitely be a better wife. And she's really not a good role model for a lot of women, because I feel like this is kind of like a last straw, because when it comes to family, you got to protect your family. And she's not protecting her family with this. She's just kicking cans down the road. And the shrooms and psychedelics, what else are they doing? Because you know it's Hollywood. They're not just doing shrooms. They're doing something else. It's a gateway. And it's probably affecting their mind states to where they're really not going to get what they need solved. And it's only a matter of time before something else comes out. Also, I wanted to say that the organization that Jaden was speaking on is called a Multidisciplinary Association of Psychedelic Studies, Sciences, whatever. It's spelled out as MAPS. If you Google another grouping of people who identify themselves as MAPS, all I gotta say is I don't think I would label my acronyms as that, because, like, MAPS, look it up. It's really weird. It makes you wonder if this has any kind of Hollywood connection. Go watch Sound of Freedom. Anyways, next thing I wanted to talk about was Lena the Plug, Adam 22. Now, if you have any brain cells, you don't know who Lena the Plug is. So I'm going to kill them by plugging her in. Anyways, Lena the Plug is an OnlyFans actress who likes to act out her scenes with her husband, Adam 22. And they have a lot of threesomes together. Bunch of different porn stars.
She's a porn star!
And all that. And, you know, everything was kind of going swimmingly. They're doing their thing. I don't care. It's degeneracy, because that's what his podcast, No Jumper, that's all they really talk about. It's just degenerate stuff, whether it's gangbanging stuff, drug stuff, sex stuff. They just talk about the worst things in society. And recently, she just had her first adult video scene with the guy that's always on those black.com scenes. Don't ask me how I know that. I just do. And it's just sad because they want to act like this is all cool. Adam is acting like it's cool, but it's not. I'm going to show you a couple of his Twitter things, you know, Twitterings, you know, because he's trying to act like he is not jealous, but he definitely is jealous. His first post about this whole thing where he was just like, you know, she's finally done a scene with another guy. And I was a little jealous at first, but it's been great for our channel and everything. And it's like, bro, you messed up. You said you were a little jealous. Keep going through and pause if you need to. Because I know sometimes we need to. Some of us can't read. I know I can't. So sometimes we just need a moment to just look at what we're looking at. He's posted other things making jokes about him essentially not being jealous and just adapting to it. He's got this one post where he's bench pressing. He's being like, it takes a strong man to let his wife get banged by another man. And it's like, no, it takes a very weak man. That's not a good joke. And he has this other joke, which is horrible. It's like a Full House picture with all three of them. And another funny thing is, this is how I know that it's not really affecting him the way he thinks and is bad. They posted, I guess, this other chick who's a chick they've done a scene with. And he's like, this is the tallest girl I've ever been with. And I know why they're doing that, because he's trying to essentially measure up to the guy that she was just with. Because that dude is huge and could probably bang his wife while eating him in half. Like, that dude is big.
Mr. Pretty Tony, I mean, you know the rules of the game. I mean, your bitch just chose me.
And so they're using this other tall woman to kind of compare to that. And it's easy to see through that veil. This is kind of what he gets for being a Satanist. If you watch The Truth Is, it's a good YouTube channel that talks a lot about the esotericism of Hollywood and exposes it. If you watch his episodes about Adam, you will see he has a Baphomet tattoo. His last name is Grand Mason. His father has political ties. He's really deep into this stuff, and you can learn a lot about his general life and all those kind of things, and some of the more suspicious things that he said or talked about or whatever through his channel. But I would also like to pinpoint, like, again, he is a Satanist. You don't get a Baphomet tattoo if you're not a Satanist. Hardcore. And this is kind of the trade-off of that kind of lifestyle. You have wealth, you have clout, you have women, and you let your woman get with another guy and you're a little jealous. It's like, of course, because men are not built like that. We're not built for our women to be shared. Women actually are more predisposed to be able to share their man, because again, it's more women than men, which also means that there's a limited amount of men for women, thus limited resources. Thus, it's more natural for multiple women to get with one guy. This is where I think they went wrong, and this just shows you how porn ruins everything. They do multiple scenes with multiple women. She's okay with him being with multiple women. What they really need to do is he just needs to marry multiple women, and Lena is his main, and then they all have fun with each other, raise each other's kids, and live together happily ever after. But nope, you can't do that, all for the sake of content. And it's kind of like, there's no point. The money doesn't make any sense. They're kind of already rich. He's been set for life. His dad is like high up in the political game with, I think, Bill Clinton. There was really no point for this. His podcast has made a bunch of money. It's still a top podcast on YouTube. She just wanted to do this because she is a low down whore. And I'm gonna get mature here.
Rated M for mature.
For a second, but I mean, this is just a reason in the past they used to stone not only the woman but the man for these kind of things, because of the kind of destruction and chaos this can cause within the family. Remember, they have a daughter. She can end up going down the wrong path, the next thing you know, she has STDs, or Adam is like, I can't take this anymore, and he tries to hurt the guy she did the scene with and her, or hurt himself or something like that. He gets an STD, she passes it. This can also, they have millions of followers. This literally might influence some other couples to share each other and end up ruining relationships. I'm sorry if this is something you think that shouldn't have never been done in the past, but if you're of the faith like me, again, I believe in Yahweh Bahasham, Yahawashi Bahasham. I truly believe that I understand why they would do something, because back then a lot of families could not afford to have such madness going on. They couldn't afford for this woman to end up having someone else's kid, or to go willingly break her virginity, or guys going around raping women or taking dudes' wives and everything, because it was so much harder. I wouldn't say so much harder to live back then, but they were very uncertain. There are a lot of uncertain things, and a lot of things can be hard to prove, and they just had to be sure. But the religiousness that they had made it so like they just could not accept what was going on, and that's just the way it was back then. I'm not saying we should be doing that stuff now, because we're in a different age and we have different understandings and different process to go about this stuff, but back then they didn't. They just cut that shit in the bud. These days, you should just break up with a person or divorce them and just leave it at that. This goes to show how bad of a wife and a mother Lena is to even do something like this. It's bad enough you guys film this kind of stuff and expose your genitals for the world to see while having a child. But for you to just go with another man or your husband, I mean, Adam is kind of stupid because he doesn't understand she does not like him. It's like with Will. Like, Will kind of understands that she doesn't like, Jada doesn't like him, but he wants to hold on. But at the same time, I think he has kind of given up. Adam isn't trying to give up. He doesn't like you, dude. She did another dude. That's how it works. Men are able to kind of just let that off on other women without really caring, but women don't. You know, women either really like the other guy or they're hardcore sex addicts that really just are good for nothing but pumping. She's probably good for nothing but pumping. But, you know, this affects the children. This goes back to the children. When their child has to see this later, who knows how this is going to affect her? Who knows how she's going to feel about seeing her parents like this? It's disturbing. It's pointless. It really is pointless. You have all this money. Go on a beach. Just keep doing the podcast. Go vlog in other countries. Go talk. Why do you have to do sex work? I don't understand that. And that could be a video for another day too. But for them, it just doesn't make any sense. And how do Jada and Lena relate? They are both women who do not want to live under any kind of rules or code. That's dangerous for society as a whole because women are the childbearers. We have our strongest initial connections to this entire reality through our mothers. Our fathers are there to instruct and to discipline, but our mothers are there to nurture and care and they're the backbone towards making us strong to be able to take the society. The fathers help us be strong as we go out. The mothers help us stay strong as we come back in. And with mothers like Jada and Lena, you are not going to have a stable foundation. That's why, Jaden is out here wearing dresses. And that's why I won't be surprised if their daughter on Lena and Adam's side ends up becoming, an X-rated star herself just from the trauma. Or even ends up being in situations where she tries to drink to escape the pain of it, or gets bullied for it. It's sad, but these women don't care about their families. They don't care about themselves. And if other women out there end up mimicking these two, oh my goodness. I mean, they are mimicking these two. It's really hard to find young women out here for a lot of people, apparently, that kind of just have a mindset of, I'm going to put my husband first. I'm going to keep myself in line. I want discipline. Women do not want discipline. And these women have big followings. They're dangerous. I'm just being honest. They're dangerous. One's a triple D, A, B, D, C, alpha list celebrity. I don't know where she is on the clock. And the other one is a makeshift
porn star.
They have millions of followers. They have a lot of influence. If women act like this, there almost kind of isn't any point to family, which is why you're seeing less families, and it's funny because these are the kind of women we give all our attention to, all our fame to. There's a lot of guys that say, man, I wouldn't, Jada, what you doing, man? You don't need a Jada. You don't need this or Elena. But trust me, bro, those girls are in front. Like, if you think about prime Jada and you think about Lena the Plug, a lot of guys are going to fold in front of these type of women because they can talk all that talk all they want, but men want bad women. We want the baddies. And a lot of men just don't have the strength or fortitude to stand against those kind of women. And I'll admit myself, now I have that kind of strength and fortitude. But back when I was younger, even like a 23-ish, 24-ish, when I was kind of being alone and just kind of going against the grain with these kind of things, I still probably would have folded to them and probably would have done a lot of what they said, and I would have been influenced by them because men get easily influenced by these women too. And when the children get influenced, well, a lot of times that generation has been ruined already. And it gets hard to unravel these curses because that's what these women are doing. They're causing curses in their family, causing curses, and who knows how long that can be remedied with. For black men, for so-called black men out there, really, man, it's like what I said in the Xeon video. I hope I said his name right. We've got to choose our partners carefully. We have to be very careful because there's a lot of women out here that are going to ruin your families because they cannot control themselves and they don't want to fall under discipline. They would rather drink from the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil than drink from the fruit of life. And what that means, the fruit of life is, living under Yah's word, living under Yah's order naturally. That is what life is. But when you complicate life and then you decide to do things that are not natural, that's what evil is. That's what the fruit of evil is. It's the other side. Don't think about it as an actual fruit. Think about it as your mind state, your spirit state. These women, they're drinking off the cup of Babylon's fornication. And we as black men cannot afford to be around these kind of women. So hopefully I made a point and addressed myself in a poignant kind of way that you can understand. And I really hope you learned and took something from this. Don't give up on women in general, though. Because, listen, that's a lot of good women out there. You're just going to have to try a lot harder to find them. But they're there. And when you get them, hold them down. And if you would like more than one woman, you're going to have to address that. And you're going to have to make sure you can afford that. Because I do personally think that it's better for men to have multiple women than for multiple women to hang on to multiple men, you know? It kind of just, it makes more sense that way. There's a lot of women out here that wouldn't mind sharing a guy. And it's better if they're all under one roof. Then you could watch each other's children. Y'all can trade off of work. I mean, if it's like 4 women, 1 guy, y'all don't even have to work full time, really. Think about that. Nobody has to have a babysitter. You think about how cheap that could be. I don't know. But anyways. Hope you guys have a great night. I'm glad we lived through July 4th. RIP to all those souls out there. I don't know. It's starting to seem like it's like a yearly thing to just kill people en masse on July 4th. But peace to the nation. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.